today with us we have Mr. Atul Patel. He is a fund manager, and he will be giving us a brief about the new fund which we have launched yesterday, which is ICICI Prudential Pharma, Healthcare and Diagnostics. So this is an NFO opened on 25th of June and closing on 9th of July.
We are not saying that markets will go up or go down. We are just saying that markets will be volatile. The key reasons why we say that is as follows basically. I mean, there are three key reasons. The biggest reason is that it's an election heavy calendar year, right? Over next 12 months, there are a lot of state elections as well as general election coming up in May 2019. So clearly because of elections, markets will be volatile. Secondly, if you see, the crude prices have actually started going up. I mean, it has inched up from the lows of $45 to $73, $74 currently. So clearly, India being a net importer of crude, it is negative for our current account deficit. Since crude goes up, our import bill increases and our current account deficit also goes up. Clearly, as a result of this, basically, there are a lot of FI and debt outflows which happens because current account deficit goes up. Interest rates are also going up globally, and in India also, interest rates have started inching up, because of which we believe rupee will also depreciate. So clearly, three reasons, as I said: election heavy calendar, crude going up, and interest rates going up. So all three key reasons basically clearly suggest that the outcome of all this is clearly also that rupee will depreciate. So rupee depreciation is obviously good for pharma as a sector, and which is why we believe clearly that this is the right time to invest in a fund like pharma fund. I mean, this is obviously our open-end fund. After a long time, we are coming up with an open-end fund. We are very bullish on pharma at this point in time because of various reasons. I'll just give a brief snapshot of this fund, and then I'll maybe talk about it in detail later, both in terms of pharmaceutical medicines. As we talk about this fund, now how is this fund different from others, or what are the sub-segments in pharma where we can invest? Clearly, there are three sub-segments in pharma. I mean, the biggest segment is the remedial pharma. When we talk about remedial pharma, clearly there are three sub-segments there also. But the pure pharmaceutical companies which are there, I mean, the likes of Sun Pharma, Lupin, Cipla, Cadila, all these kind of companies falls into this remedial pharma. So clearly, pure pharma is the one which will dominate the fund. But the thing is, there are other sub-segments also in pharma where we are going to invest in this fund. Clearly, some of them are very, very small at this point in time, but the space is evolving and there is a lot of opportunity to invest in future also in this sub-segments. Apart from pure pharma, there is hospitals and diagnostics as a theme also. Right? When you talk about hospitals in India, the hospitals as a sector is also very unorganized. I mean, it has still a long way to go as far as formalization of hospitals is concerned. Clearly, just to give you a data point, in India we have only around 1 bed for every 1,000 people. When you compare it with the global average, globally there are 3 beds for every 1,000 people. I mean, that I'm talking about a global average. There are countries which are far above the global average also. So if we have to reach global average also, I mean, we'll take around another 7 years to reach that, and that too we'll have to add 3 million beds to reach the global average of 3 beds for every 1,000 people. So clearly, as far as hospitals sub-segment is concerned, there is also huge scope to grow there. Then there is diagnostics as a sub-segment. Clearly in India there are not many listed companies in diagnostic space. There are only 2 companies which are listed. One is Dr. Lalpath Labs and the other one is Thyrocare. But I'm saying this segment again is very unorganized. The organized sector is only 15% of total, but clearly it is growing at a much faster rate than what we realize. The organized segment is growing at 15%. So I'm saying there are a lot of companies, the space is just evolving. A lot of companies which will come up for listing in next 3-4 years also. So hospitals or diagnostics as a space basically can continue to grow, and there are a lot of companies which will come up for listing also in this space. The other about preventive healthcare, again this space is very niche, it is just evolving. And when I talk about preventive healthcare, there are basically fitness clubs or the health clubs, there are gyms, there are health foods and nutritions. I mean, those kind of segments basically fall into this. Again, there are not many listed companies in this space, but this is a very niche space. Space is evolving, and in future there can be many companies which can get listed here. So just to give an example, I mean, there's only one gym company which is listed in India, Talwalkars. I mean, but going forward, not many companies can come for listing also. As far as wellness category is concerned, as I said, I mean, as far as health foods and nutrition is concerned, there's a product called Sugar Free, which again is a very niche segment, right? There's a company called Zydus Wellness who manufactures Sugar Free. So again, these are just few examples. There are a lot many companies which can come up at later point in time. So I think there are many options where we can invest in this fund. That is the second option, wellness as a category or preventive healthcare as a category. The third category is health insurance. In fact, we have an option to invest in life insurance companies also. The health insurance is basically, if you see, India is one of the most under-penetrated category as far as health insurance is concerned. Clearly in India, I mean, out of the entire healthcare expenditure, close to about 60% is out-of-pocket expenses only. A lot of people in India still don't have Mediclaim. So health insurance as a segment is bound to grow. As far as companies are concerned, in India, health insurance forms a part of general insurance bracket. So all the general insurance companies in India have health insurance as one of its segments. Within the general insurance bracket, the health insurance is actually one of the fastest growing segments also. Last year also the segment grew at 24%. So what I'm trying to say is that health insurance is an evolving space. Right now it is under-penetrated, so there is huge scope to grow there. Clearly we believe that since we have an option to invest in this space, we are very, very positive about investing in this space because the penetration numbers are just too low and the opportunity to grow is very, very huge.
Subscribe to Walgan Television. Please subscribe Walgan Television.